Idaho incident. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
What about the Idaho incident?
Could you just describe it to me in your own words?
Yeah. So that was with my youngest daughter, Mia, her dad. Are you bringing her to me, or do you want me to go? Okay. Anyway, that was between Jacob and I, and that happened. That started at like 8 o'clock in the morning, February last year. And it was because I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to find my fiance having sex with the neighbor on my back porch while I was home with our daughter. I let it slide because it wasn't the first time that he had cheated on me. I woke up at 7:30ish, decided to open my daughter's tablet, found pictures of his penis all over my daughter's tablet. Thank God she was not home at that time. That I freaked out on. I woke him up. I told him, get out of my house. You are disgusting. You are never allowed to be here again. And I will throw everything that you own into the street if you're not out of my house in 5 minutes. He proceeded to apologize for everything, begged me to let him stay, started slicing his wrists on my floor with a knife, begging for forgiveness, all kinds of different stuff. The police were called several times that day because he and I were yelling and arguing, and he was calling them multiple times when nothing happened over fighting. He got the neighbors involved because he went next door after I told him to get out and threw everything into the front. Because I was the only one on that lease. I paid all the bills. This was my house, and you're not going to disrespect me. So he went to go next door to go sit with his girlfriend. I went over there, was banging on the door, telling him to come out, that he was going to talk to me like a man or figure out what was going to happen. Didn't have a plan at that point. He came out. We were arguing. I pushed him against the wall. He proceeded to push me to the floor. I got back up. He pushed me again into the wall, and the wall that I'm talking about in this apartment had a closet door attached. So I went through the closet door. Nobody seemed to care about that. At that point, I went back inside. Jacob went back into the other apartment. He called the cops, and the cops came. They came into my apartment first, talked to me. I told them what happened. They said, I specifically asked them, are you going to arrest me? They told me no. I said, okay, fine. I waited in my apartment for probably 5 minutes. The cops went out, went to go talk to Jacob. 5 minutes later, they come back and say they're arresting me. I asked why. Nobody would give me an answer. And then come to light later, it was because Jacob had signed a citizen's arrest saying that I choked him. That never happened. After all of that happened, Jacob and I were still in contact with each other because he's my daughter's dad. I got out of jail the next day at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I walked all the way home, got home, found him in my apartment. He had cleaned my apartment and thought that that was going to be enough to get me back. So I told him, no, get out. He took my daughter, ran to my landlord's office, started trying to not give me my daughter. So I was trying to take her out of his arms. He had the landlord called the cops. They came back and he gave me my daughter back. And then eventually he took off. Through all of that, he had apparently, what he was telling me, I don't know if this is actually true. He told me that the entire time I was in jail, he was trying to call and get everything dropped because he knows I didn't choke him, and he knows that I didn't fight him, and he knows that this was his fault. And so everything ended up being dismissed, and it's all fine now. He's gone. We're not in contact. We don't talk. He doesn't see my daughter. He's not a part of our lives. He left, does his own thing. So that's that.
Okay. So in that one, the allegation of you choking him just never happened and wasn't pursued.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Because I was going to ask a question about the difference, but since you never did it, that's
he had his girlfriend try to
relevant.
they came up with that, trying to get me thrown in jail so that he could go over there. Turns out that night when I was in jail, he left my daughter home alone until my roommate came home. My daughter was 2 months at this point. she was also a premature baby because I was in a car accident a month prior. So he left her home alone to go next door and go tell them a lie and all kinds of stuff, that I was a horrible woman, that I had always beat him, that I was trying to get an abortion with his baby without telling him, all kinds of different lies. So all of them ganged up together and had a plan to pursue the choking stuff until Jacob decided that he didn't want to do that anymore. That's what his current girlfriend told me. So everything was a lie to get me put in jail so that he could leave with her.
Okay. And, well, they ran off to California, but so you're still out there in that same general area there in
Yeah, I
Bonner
live in the same
County?
town. Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's we're wrapping up here, but